welcome back to Friday Night Frights. And tonight we're going to talk about Wes Craven's first film he ever did called Last House on the Left. My guest tonight is Horrific Nightmares JM. Yeah, he has a YouTube channel and he loves horror movies. I mean, with the name Horrific Nightmares, you gotta love horror movies. And if you love horror movies, you got to love Wes Craven's horror movies. He's been doing horror movies for a long time, and I've been saying horror movies a lot, hasn't I? We will have his link in the bottom, so go check out his YouTube page. He also does live streams every Friday night at 9 o'clock, usually on the Horror Man's channel. If you remember the Horror Man, he was on last season 2 different times, and he does it with Bronco Juggalo, talks movies too, which I'm going to try to get that gangsta on here too. But tonight, Horrific Nightmares JM, we're going to talk to him about Last House on the Left. Okay, welcome, Horrific Nightmares JM. How you doing?
Hey, John. How you doing, buddy?
Just chilling tonight. This whole month, really, just been kicking back, watching some horror movies. How about yourself?
Yeah, I've been watching a lot of horror movies. Eventually, I'd like to take part in that 100 movie challenge, but we'll have to see what happens. I don't know if I'm quite ready for that one yet.
What's that about?
Well, what I've been doing for the last 3 years, I've been doing a movie a day for 31 days. Mm-hmm. Well, some of my friends that I started with on YouTube do a 100 movie challenge, and that's where they try to watch 100 movies in October. And it's not like a review for each one. It breaks it down to a little over 3 a day. Mm-hmm. And you just get on there and you talk about the 3 you watched, and maybe like a 10-minute video, just talk about them a little bit.
Okay.
So on and so forth. I just wasn't ready for it this year.
Yeah. Well, I've been doing like the thing on Instagram. I see people doing 31 days of Halloween or whatever. At least been watching one movie, not 3. But through the week when I work, I get up pretty early and I don't stay up too late. So I get home, get a shower, get something to eat, and can watch at least one movie before I go to bed. So we've been trying to do that, which we did. We did it all this whole October here. And tonight, nice. I got my son over. He's been over for the last few days. We're going to actually watch a double feature tonight since nobody's got to get up and work or do anything tomorrow. So.
What are you going to watch?
Well, I just got Lights Out today. I've never seen it, but my son says it's really good. And I got the classic Evil Dead, which, believe it or not, I did not have in my collection until somebody sent it to me today. So that is a spoiler from the video that I'm putting up tonight, the package time video. That's 2 of them there. So might watch both of them. I had planned on watching Halloween 3 at first, but I don't know. We could get a triple feature here. Who knows? I might try to throw it in. I haven't seen that one in a while. But what all movies you been watching?
Oh, geez, pretty much a little bit of everything. With my 31 days, I tried to include a few new movies, a few actually family-friendly movies.
Yeah.
A couple. We got some 70s in there. We got a few 80s in there, some 90s. I tried to incorporate a little bit of everything in there to kind of give it a wide variety. And I don't talk about. I try not to talk about movies that are all that popular, so that maybe I can introduce people to some stuff that they have never seen before. So,
that's kind of what we did this month. Right before October rolled around, we went on a Dollar Tree spree. I found a lot of horror movies at the Dollar Tree. So we was watching a few classics that she had never seen, and then we would throw in every other night something that neither one of us have seen, and it was mostly from the Dollar Tree that we found. Some were good, some were bad, and of course some were the ugly, as you should know. But we picked up a few decent ones from the Dollar Tree, and you know, I mean, I don't know. There for a long time, we never did have a whole lot of movies come to the Dollar Tree, but here lately, they've been coming every month now. So
nice. Yeah, I saw some of your pickups on Instagram.
Yeah, it's I mean, we hit and miss on a few, and even the bad ones were just comical. We just couldn't help but laugh at them. But tonight I want to talk about Wes Craven's first film, The Last House on the Left from 1974.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yep. Such a classic.
Yeah, it's a classic, and of course it was remade in 2009. Did you like that remake?
I did. I will say this. My opinion has changed on it a little bit through the years.
Yeah.
I rewatched the original kind of to brush up for what you and I were going to talk about because it had been a while since I'd seen it.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, the latest one I'd seen was the remake.
Yeah.
And I always said that I liked the remake more than the original.
Yeah.
But I don't think I do anymore. I don't think I do. I was really captivated by going back and revisiting the original.
Well, the original was just so... It almost reminded me when I first seen it, and I didn't really see it like a long time ago. We're talking within probably the last 10 years, maybe 10 to 12 years, first time I ever seen that movie. It just passed by. I never got around to seeing it. And I got into more and more, stuff that I had never seen. And I had a buddy say, you gotta check that out. How did you never get to see that? And I think the kind of like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre did for it just seeming so real and gritty, you know what I mean, from the 70s.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, there is some comical
almost
parts.
Seems like you want to take a shower afterwards. You know what I mean?
And David Hess. I mean, come on, man. I mean, David Hess, piss your pants. I mean, come on. I wanted to go meet him a few years ago at a convention. He was at. It's been quite a while, and I remember I was going to a few conventions then, and he was supposed to be at one, and I think it was somewhere. I think it was Cinema Wastelands. You ever heard of that one?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And I was wanting to plan to go see it and go see him, and I didn't get to see him, and I swear it was like 3-4 months later he died. I was like, man, really?
Yeah.
I was like, man.
That was a huge loss.
Yeah.
Huge loss to the horror community.
But, when I first seen him when I was a kid, I remember from Swamp Thing,
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, he played in Swamp. That's the first time I ever seen David Hess in anything. And I was like, when I got to finally see Last House on the Left, I'm like, man, it's the dude from the Swamp Thing, man. This is great,
Right.
And
that must have been the first time I saw him, too, then.
Yeah, it's crazy. But, I loved Swamp Thing growing up. Of course, it was a Wes Craven film, too. So, I guess he liked working with David. But the original, all the craziness went on in it, and they did change a lot of things in the remake or whatever. But the original, was there anything that you would like to change about the ending of that movie?
I thought about that. As I was watching it, one of the things I noticed about Wes Craven is how he thought either about the area or just about police officers in general.
Yeah.
Because, those two guys couldn't get out of their own way.
Yeah.
To be honest. It was just, they were bumbling idiots.
Yeah.
And I thought it was interesting, of course, we're talking spoilers here, so anybody who hasn't seen it, whatever. At the end, when the police officer took the chainsaw away from him, and they just kind of looked at him like, well, what are we supposed to do now? You know what I mean? And I thought that was an interesting way to end it, because you kind of get the idea that the police understood that maybe they deserved what happened to them. Mm-hmm. But you're not really sure if they're going to do their job, because they haven't thus far.
Yeah.
So, and I don't think I would change anything.
Yeah, I think they were just like, they had never had nothing this crazy happen in their town, maybe, and that's why they just never knew how to, do anything, and they just seemed so goofy and stuff, maybe.
Yeah, I agree.
And wasn't one of the guys like was it the deputy? Was that the guy that was in the Karate Kid, in the Cobra Kai's? Kreese? It was him when he was younger,
Martin
right?
Cove.
Yeah.
Yep, Martin Cove.
Yeah.
My wife and I, because she was watching a little bit of it, she was watching her own video as well. Mm-hmm. But she's like, God, that guy looks familiar. I
Yeah.
said, he sure does. And I was sitting there trying to figure out who he was. And when I saw his name at the end,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's who that is.
Yeah. 10 years
He's
before The Karate Kid. Who knew, you know?
Yep.
But that was...
Cobra Kai Sensei.
Yeah, and before that, like I said, when I had first saw it, I was like, there's, you know, David Hess. I didn't know his name. I just knew him from the guy from Swamp Thing. And then the same thing with him. I was like, oh my God, it's
Right.
the Cobra Kai, the guy, you know. I was like, oh my God, who else is in this movie? This is crazy. But I heard he did that right out of college, or was he still in college when he did that movie? I heard something like that.
I don't know. He was very young, though.
Yeah, I heard it. I think he just got out of college or something, they said. So, but to me, you know, I'm going to ask you about this. This is the last question about where it ranks in Wes Craven's filmography. And to me, for a long time, I kind of put it at number one for some reason. I don't know why, because it's so much different. But a lot of his movies are different, you know.
Yeah, that's true.
Where would you rank it up there with his films?
To be honest with you, before I watched it just recently,
Mm-hmm.
I would have put it close to the back of the lot, to be honest.
Yeah.
But after watching it recently,
Yeah.
it always left a bad taste in my mouth because it was, like you said, it was so real,
Yeah.
so gritty, and it just, sometimes it doesn't go over well with me. Like, I kind of have to be in a mood to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
And when I watched it, brushing up on, you know, what we were doing, I must have been in the mood because I think it's great.
Yeah.
It's just a fantastic film.
I mean, yeah, for years. I mean,
So-
there's so many other movies that he's did. I was just like, I put it right up there. I don't know. It's...
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And then his second
I
film...
never would have up until recently.
Yeah, and then his second film, you know, Hills Have Eyes. I always loved that one, too.
Me too.
I put
Yeah,
that
me too.
just like his number one and number two, and that's like, I think his first and his second movies that he ever did. I was just like, you know, and they're both real gritty. Like, I guess because I was starting to get more and more into the 70s films, you know, and liking that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely get that.
Yeah, I kind of like...
And they were so different for their time. They
Yeah.
were very different for their time.
Yeah. That's,
So-
damn gnat I had to swat away.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's... And just like you said, you got to be in the mood. It's kind of like I said, Chainsaw or even I Spit on Your Grave. It's kind of that, you know what I mean? You
Right.
don't get in a whole lot of
Right.
moods to watch I Spit on Your Grave either, which, you know, I might talk about that movie again in one of these videos too, because that one's right up there. Of course, it's been remade too. And that's crazy how some of these 70s movies that some people had never heard of, when they did remake it, the people that never heard of it, they just thought it was a new movie. And I heard people, and I was like, man, that's an old movie that's been remade. And they're like, what? You know. But,
Exactly.
and I think it needed polished up a little bit at the time. You know, I was thinking it was all right to be remade. Some movies are not meant to be remade at all, I don't think. But then some, you can polish them up a little bit. Just like the Texas Chainsaw. You can polish it up a little bit. And they did, you know. And I always liked that remake too.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
So,
And I agree with you. Some movies are very gritty and very... Because I think back then they were doing that whole guerrilla filmmaking sort of thing.
yeah.
So you really can do wonders with the technology we have now. And, you know, not that... I don't know. It's kind of like a double-edged sword. Not that I want them to make it too polished.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people had that problem with the Friday the 13th remake. They said it was too polished.
Yeah, that one.
But, you know, it can be better. It can be more artistic. It can be more today, I guess.
Yeah. And,
Good way.
But, yeah, it's crazy that, you know, the movies come out, and they just seem to be on trend there for a while for remakes, where they were reaching back to the 70s to get these movies and, you know, put them out and remake them again. But, yeah, they did. And then some of them make sequels, like I Spit on Your Grave. They made a few of them sequels. I've never seen them or nothing.
Yeah.
I kept thinking when I first seen, you know, it had a sequel, I'm thinking, okay, it's just a different girl and it's kind of the same situation probably. And you know it's going to
Right.
be the same thing just over and over and over. And they seem they made money off the first one or whatever. But yeah, Wes Craven's right up there with one of my favorite directors. And I think the cool thing about the remakes, that one, and I think even The Hills Have Eyes, I'm not for sure exactly, but didn't he have a part in like producing and helping along with the film too?
He definitely had that in Last House on the
Yeah,
Left.
I think.
I'm not sure about The Hills Have Eyes.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I watched that one, but
Yeah, I'll have to
I
check.
love that one as well. I like the remake.
I remember seeing that when I was a kid. My cousin showed it to me. It scared the hell out of me when I was a kid for people just coming out. And then later on, you know, down the road, you make a wrong turn, and it's kind of like that, but it's a different setting. You know what I mean? They changed it up a little
Exactly,
bit.
just a different setting.
Yeah, just a different setting. But, you know, a lot of the movies are like that. They just take from older movies, and that's when they just made great movies back then. So, but thanks
Everything
for...
was very different.
Yeah. Thanks for being on Friday Night Frights and Friday Night Frights.
Thank you for having me,
Yeah.
John.
And
Thank you for having me, John.
yeah, and definitely we'll maybe have you back on here again, and we're going to try to get your buddy Bronco Juggalo on here too, and I'll find a movie for him to talk about because he's a comical one to talk to. I definitely have to get him on here, and he'll just tell you like it is, I believe. But and maybe even have the horror man back here soon. So, but thanks anyway for being on here talking about The Last House on the Left.
Thank you, John. I appreciate it, buddy.
All right, man. Sometimes I get tongue-tied. Sometimes gnats fly on my face. I'm not perfect, but you get the gist of the video here with Horrific Nightmares JM. Check him out. I'll put his link to his YouTube channel at the bottom. And that's another wrap for Friday Night Frights. Sometimes I even say Fright Night Friday or whatever. I've messed up a few different times, but that's just me. I'm no pro, but somebody likes to watch me. Till next time.